bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years.
How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. Diddy's lawyers were so eager to keep him out of jail. They offered his palatial $48 million home in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail cause he is a dead man walking. Every record label motherfucking executive and the mother in Black Rock. This ain't going to make it. And it's going to be the end of the story because we are waiting on the other names involved. You ain't going to hear him finding out he was recording everything. But not only celebrities. Not only celebrities. I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. Oh, he also had a couple of preachers in there. Y'all, Diddy's lawyer just dropped something wild. He's claiming that independent lab results showed some unknown substance in Diddy's prison food. And now Diddy is convinced someone is trying to pull an Epstein on him. Diddy has been complaining about dizziness, blurred vision, and memory blackouts. And now his lawyer is begging the judge to release him on bail. See, Diddy was acquitted of the most serious charges, and the ones he was found guilty of would normally allow him to get bail. However, the judge immediately denied bail. And now Diddy is paranoid that the feds are keeping him in there because they're planning to take him out. But how often do guys get held on a prose charge? And after this many months, like 10 months in prison, the judge said that that video highlights a disregard for the rule of law and a propensity for violence. Fair. But you're withholding bail for actions that were not part of the case against him. But think about this too. Just days after Diddy got off on federal RICO charges, the FBI announced they're officially closing the Epstein case because there is no client list and Epstein definitely unalived himself. So, is it all just a coincidence? Or does this prove that Diddy was the Jeffrey Epstein of hip-hop? And remember what happened with Epstein the night he died in prison? Cameras mysteriously malfunction. Both guards fall asleep and then the autopsy shows his neck was broken like someone strangled him. And now Diddy's in the same position. He knows way too much. A lot of powerful people were blackballed at those parties. And we still don't know what happened to those tapes the feds took from Diddy's mansion. Clive elevated him to a record executive by helping him found his label, Bad Boy Records. That was Clive's move. He did that. And then Diddy, along with a lot of help from a lot of other people all around him, proceeded to do 30 years worth of sexual blackmail operations within the rap industry. So now the question is, how far are they willing to go to keep Diddy quiet? Well, according to Diddy's legal team, Diddy's life is in serious danger and someone already tried to poison him. Diddy's lawyers Mark Agnafilo and Tini Gallegos are claiming Diddy is experiencing some strange symptoms like sudden dizzy spells, heart palpitations, blurred vision, and a metallic taste in his mouth, which are all classic signs of exposure to low doses of or toxic agents. And apparently these symptoms started months ago, but they got more intense after the verdict was read. Diddy's lawyers issued a statement saying, Mr. Combs has reported significant neurological symptoms, including tremors, confusion, and dizziness, which have worsened since his verdict. We are seriously concerned that his food is being tampered with. The lawyers also claimed that the lab results confirmed a foreign compound that doesn't appear on the prison's approved list of substances, and it's not something you just find in food by accident. Now, remember back in February, it was reported that Diddy was taken to a hospital from prison in the middle of the night, but they never really revealed what happened. Sean Diddy Combs reportedly underwent treatment in a hospital as he continues to await trial on trafficking charges. According to Page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the federal prison where he was sent following his September arrest late January 30th to undergo an MRI and was then soon returned to police custody later that night. And then Diddy himself told his legal team that he suspected he was being poisoned and he even stopped eating at some point. According to The Sun, Diddy started refusing prison food after he saw that the media was comparing him to Jeffrey Epstein and saying he kept Epstein-style tapes of freak-off parties. Meanwhile, Larry Levine, a former prisoner in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, where Diddy is being held, told The Sun that it would be easy for someone to poison Diddy and make it look like he died from natural causes. Imagine if someone paid someone off on the inside to poison his food. give him a heart attack, and he dies. Levine said if somebody got to one of the correctional officers, and this could happen. They don't make a lot of money, and there's people out there that he's got stuff on that do have a lot of money. And this is exactly why Diddy is so paranoid now. He knows who these people are and what they're capable of. The ones who attended his parties and were recorded doing depraved and possibly illegal acts. And remember, we're not just talking about rappers and Hollywood actors. According to Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, Diddy was secretly recording tapes of extremely powerful people like politicians, bankers, record label owners, and even members of the royal family.
Yeah, man.
I know they got to be shook, man, after finding out he was recording everything. But not only celebrities. I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Music, hallelujah. So, is there any solid proof that Diddy was the Epstein of the music industry? Well, you won't hear this in the mainstream media, but several independent journalists have been digging into this, and it turns out a crazy amount of overlap between these two cases from the island parties to their client list. Yeah. I have an island. This is just for inspirational, motivational. Don't you know what I'm saying? You don't know a lot of black men that come from the hood? They got an island. I got an island. It's called Love Island. So when I took you to Love Island and then you realized that the plane landed and then we had to float to another island, what was going through your head when we were going there? And notice how both Epst and Diddy spent decades doing whatever they wanted despite tons of accusations and police reports, but somehow nothing ever stuck. And that's the kind of thing you'd expect if they were protected by the feds, working as assets, or had dirt on the right people. Now, check out this interview where Diddy said, "People don't really know the real him, and that's by design. Do you think that people really know you? No, people don't really know me. And that's by design. Who is this person, the Sean Combs, that we don't know? We have yet to find out, right? You have to come along for the ride. You have to come. I mean, that's the whole part of the journey. That's the whole part of entertainment. I mean, you don't rock with a brother for like going on 20 years and then stop now. You got to see this movie all the way through, baby. Believe me, I got an action-packed ending for you." So, if those stories are true that Diddy was running an Epstein-like blackmail operation with help from elites and maybe even the feds, it definitely explains how he stayed out of serious trouble for so long. But who are these elites who were protecting Diddy? Well, that's a whole other rabbit hole. And yeah, it gets pretty dark. Well, according to podcaster Patrick Bet David, it might be the same elites that Epstein was working for. So here we go. Epstein was rumored to be associated with intelligence to U.S. journalists Dylan Howard, Melissa Cronin, and James Robertson linked Epstein to the Israeli Mossad in their book Epstein. Dead Man Tell No Tales. They relied for the most part of the former Israeli intelligence officer Ari Ben-Man. According to him, Epstein's activities as a spy served to gather compromising material on powerful people in order to blackmail them. There's also possible connection to the Mossad via Ghislaine Maxwell, whose father, Robert Maxwell, is said to have had contact with the Mossad. Epstein's victim, Virginia, also alleged Epst to be an intelligence asset, linking on Twitter to a Reddit page that alleged Epstein being a spy running a blackmail operation. This continues. A U.S. attorney in Florida, later U.S. Secretary of Labor Alexander Acosta, reached a settlement with Epstein's lawyer, including Alan Dershowitz, in 2008, which allowed him to receive a very light prison sentence. Acosta later reportedly stated that he was told that Epstein belonged to intelligence and that the issue was above his pay grade. And then another sketchy thing David pointed out is that the government assigned the same prosecutor for Diddy that was in charge of prosecuting Epstein's accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. Very strange things are going on with Diddy kids. Let me explain to you why. Think about what happened with Joel Maxwell. Who was the lead prosecutor? The same person that when Epstein was being held accountable was the same lead prosecutor that is now with Diddy. This person's been the lead prosecutor for all three of them. What do you think is going to happen with Diddy? Is Diddy going to be O.J. Simpson 2.0? He's going to go free and nothing's going to happen to him. So, now more journalists and regular fans are starting to do their own research,